You know how some images just like stick with you, just burn themselves into your brain?
Oh, yeah.
Today, we're going to do a deep dive on one of those, the image from Goatse.cx.
Right,
We're not
right.
here for just the shock value, though.
Right.
We're going to like break it down visually
Okay.
and try to understand like why this particular image has become, this weird, persistent piece of internet lore.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? Like how an image can just spread so rapidly and have such like a lasting impact.
Especially in the early days of the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
And for this deep dive, we are using Urban Dictionary as our guide,
Oh, cool.
that treasure trove of internet slang.
Yeah.
And in this case, reactions to one of the most shocking images online.
Yeah, those user-submitted definitions really capture like the visceral response people had to it.
Yeah.
It was really like a time capsule
Yeah.
of early internet culture.
Okay, so let's jump into the description then.
Okay.
Urban Dictionary entries describe a man. The only notable detail is he's wearing a gold ring on his left hand. The image focuses on his anus, which he is manually stretching to a very unnatural degree.
Right from the start, that detail, the gold ring,
Yeah.
creates this really jarring juxtaposition. It's
Yeah.
like this mundane element set against something so shocking. It's a common theme in internet humor, I think. Like, using absurdity and these unexpected contrasts to just amplify that shock value.
It's like, here's this ordinary guy wearing dad jeans, and oh, by the way,
Yeah, exactly.
it makes it even creepier somehow.
Yeah.
More unsettling because it feels strangely familiar.
That familiarity, that hint of normalcy,
Yeah.
is precisely what makes it so effective, you know? It disrupts our expectation, forces us to confront something we'd rather not see in a context that we usually associate with everyday life.
Totally. And then there's the sheer scale of it, like how far he's stretching.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they wanted to push the boundaries of what's even physically possible,
Absolutely.
which just adds to that shock factor even more.
It's not just about showing something that's typically considered private. It's about exaggerating it
Yes.
to this grotesque degree. And that distortion plays into our, like, primal fears and disgust reactions.
Like a visual slap in the face.
Yeah.
Even the descriptions on Urban Dictionary
I know.
are filled with words like scarring, freak out.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
People clearly were not prepared for what they saw.
And that element of surprise
Yeah.
was key to the image's spread.
Yeah.
People would disguise links to the image, make it look like something innocent, you know,
Wow.
just waiting for some unsuspecting clicker to unleash the horror.
Oh, a classic bait and switch.
Yes.
It makes me think of those like click here for a free iPod scams
Right.
that were all over the internet back then.
Totally.
Except this was way worse than a fake prize.
Yeah, it weaponized the element of surprise,
Yeah.
turned the image into a prank, a tool for eliciting strong reactions.
Oh my God.
And this ties into the whole shock site culture of the early internet, where websites like Rotten.com and Two Girls, One Cup thrived
Yeah.
on pushing the boundaries of taste and decency.
It's like the digital Wild West out there.
Oh, yeah.
No rules, no regulations,
Yeah,
just a free-for-all of content. And the more shocking, the better.
exactly. Yeah, and that lack of regulation really created this breeding ground for shock content. It was almost like a competition to
Well-
see who could create the most outrageous, most talked about, most shared content.
So in a way, this image was almost destined to go viral,
Yeah.
even if it was for all the wrong reasons.
Absolutely. It tapped into something primal,
Yeah.
this morbid curiosity that drives us to look even when we know we shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's that same impulse that makes us slow down to look at a car accident,
Right.
even though we know it's going to be disturbing.
And the fact that it was so easily shareable,
Yeah.
just a link away,
Mhm.
helped it spread like wildfire.
Right.
It became like a digital version of that whispered secret you just had to tell your friends,
Yeah.
even if it grossed them out.
And that brings us to another crucial aspect of the image's design.
Okay.
It's simplicity.
Mhm.
It's just a single static image.
Yeah.
No complex editing, no special effects needed.
Right.
Anyone could see it, understand it, and be shocked by it instantly.
It's almost like a cave painting for the digital age.
Exact.
A crude but powerful symbol that bypasses language and goes straight for the gut.
And that visual impact made it ripe for becoming a meme. Even if people didn't want to share the actual image, they could describe it, reference it, even create variations on the theme.
It became shorthand for things that are messed up on the internet.
Exactly.
You didn't even need to see it to know what someone was talking about.
It was like a shared cultural experience, a way of bonding over something shocking and taboo.
Yeah.
And that communal aspect, I think, helped solidify its place in internet history.
It's wild to think that something so disturbing could become a cultural touchstone.
Yeah.
Even if it was in a darkly humorous way.
Yeah. Well, humor is often a way of coping with the uncomfortable, the taboo, the things we'd rather not face directly.
Right.
And this image, despite its shock value, was often used in a humorous context as a way to test boundaries, to provoke reactions, to create a sense of shared experience.
It's like that feeling when you and your friends are watching a scary movie and someone jumps out and everyone screams and then bursts out laughing.
Right.
It's a release, a way of processing the fear and turning it into something shared.
Yeah.
And, dare I say, enjoyable.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
And it speaks to the complex relationship we have with shock content. It can be disturbing, repulsive, even traumatizing, but it can also be fascinating, humorous, and even bonding.
So where does that leave us with the image itself? It was shocking. It went viral. It became a meme.
Right.
But what does it say about the internet and our relationship with it?
It reminds us that the internet is a reflection of ourselves, of our desires, our fears, our capacity for both good and evil. It can be a place of connection and creativity, but also a place of darkness and depravity.
Right.
It all depends on what we choose to create, share, and consume.
And in a way, this image, as disturbing as it is, serves as a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
A reminder that the internet is a powerful tool that can be used for both good and bad. And it's up to us as users and creators to decide what kind of digital world we want to shape. This one image, the Goatse.cx image, can really spark like a complex conversation about the internet.
Yeah.
Humor and our reactions to this kind of shocking content.
It does. It highlights these like contradictions inherent in online spaces. Like we crave connection and entertainment, but we also have this fascination with the taboo, with like pushing boundaries and testing limits.
And this image definitely pushed those boundaries, to say the least.
Sure.
But you mentioned something earlier I kind of wanted to circle back to. You said it became a meme.
Right.
But how does something so visually disturbing translate into something that's replicated and shared? Like, people weren't posting the actual image everywhere.
True. But the concept,
Yes.
shock values, the sheer memorability of it, all those elements became part of the meme.
Okay.
People would reference it in comments,
Right.
make jokes about it, even create variations or parodies that alluded to the original without actually showing it.
So it's like the image itself became this like unspoken code.
Yes.
A way for people to signal that they were in the know.
Right.
That they had seen the dark side of the internet.
Exactly. It became like a badge of honor in a strange way.
Yeah.
And that speaks to the power of like shared experience, even if that experience is based on something shocking or disturbing.
It's like that feeling of being in on a secret, of belonging to a select group who understands a particular reference or inside joke.
Precisely, and that sense of belonging, of community is such a powerful force, especially online, where people can often feel isolated or disconnected.
So in a way, this image, despite its disturbing nature, actually helped to forge connections.
Yeah.
Created a sense of shared experience among those who encountered it.
It's a paradoxical outcome, but a fascinating one nonetheless.
Totally.
It shows that even the most shocking or repulsive content can be repurposed, reinterpreted, and used to create something new, something meaningful.
Okay.
Even if it's just like a shared laugh or a knowing nod among those in the know.
It makes you wonder if shock itself has lost its power in the age of the internet.
That's interesting.
We're constantly bombarded with information, images, and videos that push the boundaries of what we thought was acceptable.
Right.
Has it all just become background noise?
That's a great question to ponder. Maybe we have become desensitized to certain types of shock.
Yeah.
But perhaps it's also that the nature of shock itself has evolved. What was once considered shocking in the early days of the internet might seem tame by today's standards.
And as we become more aware of the manipulative tactics used to spread shock content,
right?
maybe we're better equipped to recognize it and filter it out.
Yeah.
Or maybe we've just found more nuanced ways to shock each other.
It's a conversation that's still unfolding.
Right.
As the internet continues to evolve and shape our perceptions of the world.
Yeah.
And images like the one from Goatse.cx, as disturbing as they are, serve as important reminders of the power of visual media, the allure of the taboo, and the complex ways that we use shock to connect, communicate, and even to cope with the world around us.
Well, I think we've all had enough shock for one day.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the visual impact of the Goatse.cx image
Of course.
and its lasting influence on internet culture.
It's been a pleasure.
Till next time, be careful what you click on.